After over 2 years with my Aventador S and a few months with my new Revuelto, it's time to put them side by side and compare them. As most of you know, the Revuelto is the heir to the V12 throne that was vacated when the Aventador was retired. Now, the Aventador was a much-loved platform, and we're going to get into some of the key differences and similarities between these two. The first thing that we'll start with is just on the outside, with appearance. While both of these cars have a distinctive Lamborghini design and DNA, there are a few differences as far as aero and where some of the air intakes are. But at the end of the day, you can look at either of these cars and immediately know that they are Lamborghinis. When we climb into the Revuelto, there is no doubt that this is the newer of the two cars. The design is similar with a lot of the quilting, the rear window. It has all of the touches that you'd expect from a Lamborghini inside. However, the interior is definitely updated. From the console to that whole center tunnel there, everything is more up to date than what you get in the Aventador. But like I said, all the touches are definitely Lamborghini. One of the coolest new features is the passenger display. There is a G-force meter on here, so if we were launching or something, you would see that little center dot go back. It tells you the speed. You can actually change what's on this display, which is pretty awesome. And also a much more updated center console. And just so you know, it is drizzling, and the Revuelto, despite looking like cotton candy, does not melt in the rain. My particular Aventador S Roadster is a 2019. Now, I'm pretty sure that the same tech was here in the Aventador from 2012 onward, because it is pretty dated, and that's one knock I have on the Aventador, is that they didn't update that infotainment system. But holy cow, this interior is amazing. Like I said, the Revuelto and the Aventador both have those amazing interior touches that make it special and super high quality, with the quilting, the logo, on point with both cars. I personally love the center lock wheel option that's available on Aventadors. The Revuelto does not have a center lock wheel option yet, but I hope it gets one. With all of that boring stuff out of the way, let's dive into the V12 that makes both of these cars special. One big difference between the two is how long they take to start. The Aventador could sometimes take 3 business days, while the Revuelto is instant with the help of the electrification. Lamborghini opted to show off the V12 of the Revuelto with a fully open engine bay, while the Aventador has the more classic engine bonnet covering that V12 powerhouse. Here are both engines in action at idle. And one more time to see if you can hear the difference between the two. The V12 in the Revuelto is producing around 814 horsepower, while its predecessors in the SVJ and Ultimate produced around 770. She sounds so pretty. Actually, the sound in this is louder interior, in my opinion. Do you think so?
Much louder.
Interior sound is louder inside of the Revuelto than it is in the Aventador. Stock comparison, apples to apples, the Revuelto is louder inside for sure.
Hands down.
To be fair to the Aventador, though, part of that sound could be due, and probably is due, to the fact that the engine is actually a bit further forward in the Revuelto than it is in the Aventador. So having a V12 screaming 2 or 3 inches closer to you makes a difference. One sound that is missing from the Revuelto, though, are the distinctive pops that you get when you downshift in the Aventador. I think the Aventador was the last in a bit of a masterclass of Lamborghinis. The Revuelto is a very worthy successor. It's just a different feel. Yeah. It's a different launch. I mean, you've launched both. What's the difference?
shifting is probably the biggest factor.
You'll notice in each of these clips that I am completely incapable of holding the camera still with every shift. I don't know, it was a different kind of catapult. Yeah. In this, you get rocked, versus in the Revuelto, it's like you're in a slingshot. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
This is smooth as butter compared to the Aventador.
We took both cars out to drive them back to back to really get a feel on the differences in maneuverability and handling and everything. While the Revuelto is heavier, it is undeniably quicker and gets up to speed faster because of those electric motors. The Aventador moves a little bit like a tank, but you are so aware of everything happening with the Aventador because it's such a raw drive versus a bit more of a refined experience that you get within the Revuelto. They are distinctly different but equally fun to drive. However, a lot of people ask if we had to get rid of one, which would it be? And here's that answer.
If I had to get rid of one car out of the collection, it would more than likely be the Aventador. Say goodbye to this one and have somebody else enjoy it.
Little did we know that a few weeks after filming this, an opportunity would arise to sell the Aventador and we would be saying goodbye. This decision did not come lightly, and to be honest, it was way harder to make this call and way more emotional than we ever expected. After 2 years and a few months of adventures with this incredible machine, this was our last pull. Jesus. On the bright side, there is now an open slot in the garage, and who knows what we might see in it soon.